Michael Bungay Stanier, The Advice Trap: Be humble, stay curious, and change the way you lead forever. Are you plagued by the compulsion to give advice whenever someone tells you about a problem they're facing? In The Advice Trap, Michael Bungay Stanier reveals the detrimental nature of this tendency and offers an encouraging critique on how to transform your approach. This summary explores the concept of the advice monster, its three personas, and why unwanted advice hinders real problem solving. Delve deeper into the power of asking open-ended questions, managing stress, and fostering curiosity as essential components of effective leadership and personal growth.
The problem with giving unsolicited advice. Giving unwanted advice gets in the way of finding real solutions. Do you often feel the urge to provide advice when someone is talking to you about their problems? While it may seem like you're helping, the truth is that giving unsolicited advice is usually counterproductive. It often happens when someone tells us about their problems, and we're so eager to provide solutions that we fail to listen to what they're saying. This can lead to giving advice that doesn't address the real concerns. Even if we get the solution right, most of us offer mediocre advice without deeply listening to the necessary information. Rushing for a quick fix, we hold on to the first idea we have instead of looking for the best solution. This approach affects our well-being, as it's exhausting to help solve the world's problems and do everyone's job all the time. Being on the receiving end of unsolicited advice can feel disrespectful, as it implies that people do not trust our abilities to solve the problem ourselves. Those who give too much advice are limiting innovation and exhausting themselves. They are their own worst enemies. The key takeaway here is that giving unwanted advice gets in the way of finding real solutions. It's time to face and break the cycle of our inner advice monsters. Instead, try to listen actively and ask questions to better understand the problem before providing any advice. It's important to trust people's capabilities to solve their own problems and encourage them to find their own solutions. Taming your advice monsters. We all have an internal advice monster that developed to help us deal with stressful situations. These monsters, which come in three personas, tell it, save it, and control it, can limit our lives by preventing us from being open to other perspectives and piling undue responsibility on us. While we can't get rid of these monsters, we can tame them. The first step is getting to know our advice monsters better. Taming your advice monster. Our advice-giving reflexes can be triggered by stressful situations, and identifying personal triggers can help break this cycle. Once identified, we can examine the payoffs and costs of compulsive advice giving and work on building a version of ourselves that doesn't give advice as a reflex. Just like puppies that start excitedly yapping at the sound of passing cars, our advice monsters tend to get louder and noisier in certain situations. This book explores how to tame that inner monster by identifying personal triggers. For one of the authors, spending time with his brother triggers his control-it persona. The key takeaway is that stressful situations can trigger our advice monsters. The triggers for advice-giving reflexes are unique to each person. Some may be triggered by being around strangers, while others might feel compelled to give advice at work. The next step is to examine our behavior in these situations. We need to be honest with ourselves and look for specific examples of when our advice monsters come out. This exercise can be difficult, but it's essential to break the advice-giving cycle. The behavior of compulsive advice-giving provides a small reward, but it comes at a cost. We may feel helpful or smart when we give advice, but this constant behavior can negatively affect our relationships and potential to lead. To truly change and grow, we must let go of immediate gratification and work on building a version of ourselves that doesn't give advice as a reflex. Imagine the possibilities, and we can be with people without any agenda. The art of asking questions. The book emphasizes the importance of asking great questions instead of proposing solutions. It suggests keeping questions short and simple and genuinely open-ended. Additionally, it advises on asking follow-up questions like, "What else?" and "What's the real challenge for you here?" to dig deeper. Lastly, By asking great questions, a leader can nurture their curiosity, listen carefully, and build a sense of autonomy and purpose in the people around them. Get past the foggy fears. Discover how to identify and navigate conversational traps to have more meaningful and vulnerable conversations with others. Are you tired of having repetitive and surface-level conversations? Do you feel like you're not really getting to the heart of challenges with the people you're coaching or talking to? Michael Bungay Stanier's book, The Coaching Habit, proposes that many conversations get stuck because of conversational traps called foggy fears. These are tactics people use to avoid being vulnerable, and they can prevent you from having meaningful conversations that address the real issues. To overcome foggy fears, you must learn how to identify them and navigate around them. One common foggy fear is when people talk about safe topics because they don't want to get too personal. Another is when someone comes into a coaching session with a laundry list of unrelated issues, leading to confusion and distraction. Stanier also identifies tactics like big picturing and yarning, which can derail conversations and prevent progress. As a coach or simply someone trying to have deeper conversations, it's up to you to gently draw attention to these foggy fears and ask the right questions to move the conversation forward. By doing so, you give people the chance to identify their own blocks and get past them. It may feel uncomfortable to push past these conversational traps, but it's essential for having vulnerable conversations that lead to growth and progress. Transformative Conversations. The key to having productive conversations is to make people feel safe. Our brain triggers survival mechanisms in uncomfortable conversations, leading to defensive or shutdown reactions. To create a safe environment, we need to be on the same team, show respect, give autonomy, and manage expectations. By doing so, we bypass the survival mechanisms and help people engage in life-changing conversations. Coaching, a gradual yet lifelong process. Just like scaling Mount Everest, developing your coaching mindset is a gradual process. Becoming coachable is the key to becoming a good coach. Practice coaching in every interaction you have, listen and ask open-ended questions to expand your worldview and embrace the coaching mindset in every aspect of your life. Also, practice being coachable, ask for feedback and get your own coach to be more empathetic and understanding. Tame your advice monster by relishing the process and celebrating your willingness to learn and grow. Remember that learning to coach is a lifelong task.
In a nutshell, Michael Bungay Stanier's The Advice Trap guides us to acknowledge our inner advice monsters and understand their influence on our lives. Rather than trying to eliminate them, we can tame these monsters for our own benefit. By conquering the impulse to give unsolicited advice and cultivating a coaching habit instead, we can develop strong leadership skills and foster better relationships. Ultimately, it's essential to practice being coachable, asking more questions, and embracing the journey to refine your new habit and promote continuous personal growth.